Hello, I'm Daryl Foy, and welcome to Pathview Networks, where I go over real-world networking scenarios and troubleshooting in enterprise environments. Today, we're going to work through Ticket 3. This is unable to access internal server at the branch office. We have a user, Michael Davis, who has a laptop, who's located at the branch office at desk port A03. So Michael cannot reach internal application server. So the help desk has provided a list of things that they have checked. So user is connected to the network. User has a valid IP address. Other users are able to access the server successfully. User attempted reboot with no change. Additional information. Issue started this morning. No recent changes reported. Please investigate and advise. All right. So other users are able to access the server successfully. So this will tell you right away that this looks like it's a user issue and not a network issue. Excuse me again. My coffee is giving me some gas here. Okay, so right, so this is not a network issue, right? So I want to take a look at Michael's computer and see if he can access a few things, and we'll go from there. So we'll click on Michael's laptop, and I'm doing this because sometimes I want to verify or see what the help desk is seeing, because sometimes they may have missed something, and going through these steps, you might catch something or see something that they didn't. So I know it's tedious, but if you have patience and you can go through the steps, you can find certain things, because sometimes it's the little things that gets us. All right, so it looks like the web browser is taking a bit. And this happens sometimes in the real world too, right? You're troubleshooting a network and there's some slowness maybe at the site or on the user's device, depending on what applications or how many web browser, how many tabs they have open on their web browser, right? So you have to have patience and bear with them. All right, so let's see if Michael first can access the internet. So we'll go to google.com. And why is my caps on? Take that off. Google.com. Because as we see in the topology and stated in ticket, Michael has connectivity, right? So we're trying to establish what type of connectivity Michael has. All right. So it looks like, okay, Google works. All right. Michael can access Google. So he has internet connectivity. So now let's check the corporate web portal. So we're going to go to portal.pathview.local. And let's see what Michael gets. Host name unresolved. So that points to a DNS issue. Host name unresolved, right? So we can take a look at that. But first, I want to check. Let's check a neighboring computer on the same network. So help desk said all other users can access the service successfully. So let's go to Django's computer. Let's see what Jamie gets when Jamie goes to portal.pathview.local, the corporate web portal. Okay, so Jamie can access the corporate web portal fine. Service status is online. So we know the server's up. So that's confirmed, right? So now let's take a look. Let's go back to Michael's laptop now and see what else is going on. So we're going to look at Michael's network settings. So we'll go here. Matter of fact, let's go to command prompt. All right. So in command prompt, we can do an IP config space /all to see the network settings, right? So here we look at Michael's settings. Michael has an IP address and DNS is configured. But this IP address looks strange. This doesn't look like the regular corporate IP address. So what we'll do is go into the switch and see what's going on in Michael's port. Maybe Michael's not in the correct VLAN. Let's check it out. So we go into the branch switch 01 and we'll do a show interface status. So this will show us the interface status, the description, and what VLAN the port is connected to. So on the ticket, Michael's connected to desk port A03. And A03 is right here, and that is connected to switch port gig 1/04. And as we can see here, Michael is in a different VLAN. So everybody else, all the other desk ports are in VLAN 10. Michael is in VLAN 70. So let's run a show VLAN to see what VLAN Michael's in. Okay, so now we did a show VLAN, and we see VLAN 10 is the corporate VLAN, and Michael's in VLAN 70, which is the guest VLAN. So that will explain why Michael can access the internet, but he cannot access the corporate internal server. And that's by design. From a security standpoint, you don't want guest traffic crossing over or being able to access the corporate traffic. So with that segmentation, guest users are normally only allowed to access the internet. All right, so what we'll do is put Michael's laptop in the correct VLAN. So we'll do a config t interface gig 1/0/4 switch port access VLAN 10. All right. And then we'll reset the network settings here by doing a shut and no shut on Michael's interface. So that should get Michael going. So let's do a show interface status again, just to verify Michael's port is in the correct VLAN. And there we go. All right. So let's go back over to Michael's computer. And now let's run another IP config all. And now we see Michael's network settings have changed. Now he's getting a corporate subnet, corporate IP address, 10.30.10.55. And the DNS server, if you can tell, has changed. So the DNS server is 10.10.30.11. So previously he was getting a guest DNS server of 150.25.63.10, as you can see up here. So now we can test from here to see. Let's see if he can ping portal.pathview.local. And that's good. So the ping works, right? And also let's see if Michael can ping out to the internet. So let's, I'm typing ping google.com. All right, so Google is pinging. All right, so now we'll go back to the web browser. So from the command prompt, everything looks good. But this is what the user doesn't care about: the command prompt. The user cares about the display, the web browser. So this is what we need to verify. So this is the final test. If Michael's computer wants to come up, or the web browser wants to come up, and being in IT, you definitely have to have patience, especially while troubleshooting. And right now, Packet Tracer is testing our patience, right? Come on. Okay. Let's bring that back up on the screen. All right, so here we go. So now we'll check portal.pathview.local and see what we get now. And there we go. Michael can access the corporate web page, right? So Michael's good to go. And let's also, since we're here, let's verify Michael can pull up Google or access the internet. Okay. So it looks like Michael is good to go. Looks like there's an image issue with Google, but the web page is working. Yep. All right, so we are good. So this ticket can be closed. It is complete. All right, so the issue was DNS, and after troubleshooting, we recognized that Michael's port was configured in the guest VLAN. Once we was able to change the VLAN to the corporate VLAN, Michael was able to access the internal server and browse the internet. So Michael's good to go and can access along with everyone else. So a few things, possibly in situations like this, maybe Michael is a visitor from another corporate location, and it was assigned a temporary desk or sitting at a location that was configured for a previous guest user. So when Michael connected his port, he had an IP address and everything. So when the help desk took a look, they were able to see that he was connected. He had IP address, but maybe it was a help desk person that is not familiar with the subnet and didn't recognize that Michael was on the guest subnet. So that's why the ticket was sent to us. We was able to identify and get Michael back in the right spot. So that's the end of this ticket. And once again, my name is Daryl Foy with Pathview Networks, and I'll see you on the next ticket. Thank you for your time.